This is Manaslu, the mountain of souls. Standing tall above 8,000 meters, this is the 8th highest peak of the world. This summer, I got the opportunity to conquer one of the most scenic and remote trekking route in this world, the Manaslu Circuit. From walking through untouched Himalayan village to crossing high mountain passes surrounded by towering peaks, this trek was more than just an adventure. Join me as I take you through breathtaking landscapes, challenging trails, and unforgettable moments from one of the most rewarding journey of my life. Some journey don't end when you reach the destination. They stay with you forever. Like always, my journey to Nepal begins with an early morning flight from New Delhi to Kathmandu. Sitting by the left window seat, you don't have to wait to reach the mountains. Some of the highest peaks of the Himalayas reveal themselves, even before the plane touches the ground in Nepal. After landing, I meet my guide and my companion for this journey. Once we sort out the permit for the trek ahead, we spent our evening in the famous Kathmandu Darbar Square. Today, Thamel looks a little different because it's a local festival day. Today, the journey truly begins. We woke up early in the morning and take a cab to Gongabu Bus Park. From here, a long 10 hours bus ride awaits us to reach Machha Khola, the starting point of the trek. The road is good up to Arughat, but beyond that, it turns into a rough gravel trail, winding through the mountains. By the time we finally reach Machha Khola, it's almost dark. The weather shifts suddenly, a little drizzle begins, and within moments it's turned into a thunderstorm. And the rain doesn't stop all night. In recent years, road construction has begun in the Manaslu region. The gravel road now stretches all the way to Philim, nearly 25 kilometers from the Machha Khola. In time, this trail may transform much like the Annapurna circuit, but for now, the wilderness still remains. We take a jeep ride up to Jagat, and after getting our permit checked in Jagat, our trekking journey finally begins. And almost immediately after starting, we cross our first hanging bridge, with a beautiful waterfall rushing beside us. The usual itinerary is from Jagat to Deng, covering around 20 kilometers in a day. But we choose a different plan, to stop midway and avoid the usual rush of trekkers. After walking along the gravel road for a while, we finally cross a bridge towards Philim. And from here onwards is just a walking trail. We stop for lunch along the way and then continue forward. But the weather isn't on our side. The rain begins and soon we are trekking through it. The trail gets busy, a group of mules pass by, one after another. and every time we have to step aside waiting for them to cross. And after nearly 4 hours of trekking, we covered around 10 kilometers. And we finally stopped in a quiet place called Nyak. Today is the longest day yet, more than 20 kilometers to cover, and a steady gain in altitude as well. The trail stretches endlessly across bridges, over rivers and into the mountains. Within an hour we reach Deng, and the first time we catch a glimpse of the mountains with White Peak. We stop for a quick tea break here and then continue our journey. To avoid the usual stops, we have chosen lesser known villages. So there is no crowd, no noise, but one thing follows us everywhere: the mule caravans. There is no escaping them on this trail. They rule the way. We waited a long time just to cross this bridge, but the mules kept coming, and finally we decided to move along with them. And right in the middle of the bridge begins to swing. It was really a very scary moment for us. Along the way, we stopped at Bihi village for lunch. A short break to rest and refuel. After a long and exhausting day, we finally arrive at Ghap village. This village is calm and almost silent. And as we enter the guest house, we realized we are the only trekkers here. Just us and the mountains. Today is another long day. Our destination is Lo, the village from where we hope to see Manaslu for the first time. But it's not easy. More than 20 kilometers and nearly 1,000 meters of elevation gain. The trail keeps shifting, sometimes along the left and sometimes along the right of the Burigandaki river. After 2 hours of a steep climb, we reach Namrum, where our permits are checked again. But the climb doesn't stop here. We continue towards Lee, another steep uphill section. The next village on our way is Show village, where we had our lunch, and then the final push. An hour of uphill before we finally reach Low. 7 to 8 hours of continuous walking. But as we arrive, the sky closes in, clouds cover everything, and Manaslu remains hidden. So we have to wait for the next morning. But the weather isn't on our side. It rains through the night, and by morning visibility is almost zero. The forecast doesn't look promising either. Overcast skies for the entire day. The sun tries to break through, but it is not enough. Manaslu remains hidden. But we have time on our side. With buffer days in hand, we decided to wait one more day. So instead of rushing, we slow down. We walk through the quiet lanes of Low, visit the local monastery. Enjoy warm food and take some much needed rest. Sometimes the mountain teaches you patience. Early in the morning, the sky is a little bit cloudy, but slowly things begin to change, as if our prayers have finally been heard. And just like our guide said, once you see it, you can't take your eyes off it. It turns out to be absolutely right. Today's hike is a short one. Our destination is Shyala, just 2 hours away and with around 400 meters of altitude gain. For the first time, we slow down and truly take it in. Along the way, we spot a group of Himalayan Thar. And as we reach Shyala, the mountains open up. It's no longer just Manaslu. Peaks rise in every direction, a full 360-degree panorama. Raw, vast and overwhelming. No doubt this is one of the most scenic villages in the entire region. Up here, you can't trust the weather. Today is the only clear window we have. So we leave our heavy backpack behind and start our hike towards Pungyen Gompa. The snow from couple of days ago still covers the trail. And some of the sections are very tricky, demanding some extra care with every step. Slowly, as we gain altitude, the entire valley begins to open up. Peaks, glacier, and endless field of white snow, stretching as far as the eye can see. But we are not there yet. There are still countless stairs to climb. The path turns muddy as the snow begins to melt, and the final section is flat, white, and surrounded by white giants. It feels like a different world. And after 3 hours of walking over the slippery trail, we finally reached our destination, the Pungyen Gompa. Today will be an easy day for us, an easy and scenic walk to Samagaon. The trail opens into a vast valley, calm, quiet, and incredibly beautiful. Samagaon is the heart of Manaslu region. It is situated at an elevation of about 3,530 meters and the largest village in this area. A place where life moves slowly, where tradition remains untouched, and the mountains are the part of everyday life. Hey, hello! Hello! In the evening, we visited the local monastery in Samagaon. Inside we find some wall paintings made with natural colors. And also some ancient scriptures are kept carefully. Today is the toughest day of our journey, a hike to Manaslu Base Camp from Samagaon. Around 13 kilometers round trip with nearby 1300 meters of elevation gain and then all the way back. The base camp had become inaccessible just a few days ago after heavy snowfall, the same storm we experienced earlier in Machha Khola. The trail is steep and with fresh snow, every step feels risky. I move a little faster and soon I am ahead of my team. But around 10:30 in the morning, the mountains change their mood. Clouds roll in, covering the entire valley. Visibility drops and the trail disappears into white. I wait, hoping my friend and guide will catch up. But there is no sign of them, and no shelter anywhere. With the base camp still an hour away, I make the call to turn back. On the way down, I meet my team. They had already given up and were waiting for me. The valley is now completely covered in clouds. Snowflakes begin to drift into the air. And just as we reach our homestay, the rain begins. Slow at first and then heavier, until it turned into snowfall. In moments like this, there is nothing to do, except sit back with a warm cup of tea and enjoy the view outside. After the overnight snowfall, Samagaon transformed into winter wonderland. Everything covered in fresh white snow. We step outside just to soak it all in. Today's hike is a short one, towards Samdo, the last village before crossing the Larkya La Pass. Just a 2-hour walk from Samagaon. So we start late, walking slowly, taking our time, absorbing every bit of the landscape, because moments like this don't come often. Today's destination is Dharamsala, the last stop before crossing the Larkya La Pass. This isn't really a village, just a temporary settlement built for trekkers at an altitude of around 4,400 meters to help with acclimatization. It's a short day, just about 3 hours from Samdo. But the landscape feels harsher, more exposed. Along the way, we get a glimpse of the northeast face of Mount Manaslu, with glacier flowing down from its base. At Dharamsala, the facilities are basic and limited, so it's always better to arrive early. Luckily, we find a good place to stay, with room all to ourselves. To get better acclimatization, we hike the Dharamsala viewpoint after lunch. Today is the day we cross the Larkya La Pass. We wake up at 3 am and by 4 we are on the move. It's completely dark, just headlamps cutting through the silence of the mountains. Within half an hour we step onto snow, and from that point on the entire trail is covered in white. The climb from Dharamsala to Larkya La Pass takes around 3 to 4 hours. A slow steady gain from 4,400 meters to over 5,100 meters. But up here, even a simplest step feels heavy. The slope never ends, the air gets thinner, and your heartbeat grows louder with every step. Finally, I can see the people ahead, a small gathering marking the top of Larkya La Pass. But at this altitude, even the final stretch takes time. Now it's time to descend. We leave behind the valley of Gorkha district and entered Manang district, crossing from the Burigandaki river valley into the valley of Khola river. The descent from Larkya La Pass is steep, and the view even gets more better. Glaciers stretch across the mountains, towering peaks rise on all sides. At the distance, we catch a glimpse of a stunning glacier lake, Ponkar Lake. Now we are in Bimthang, the first village on the other side of the pass, a complete different world. And from here, the massive west face of Mount Manaslu stands right in front of us. Today we begin our descent towards Goa, dropping from around 3,800 meters down to nearly 1,900 meters. A journey not just in distance, but through changing landscapes. From the cold glacier world to a vibrant river valley. As we lose altitude, everything begins to transform. The barren rocky terrain slowly gives way to lush green forest and flowers blooming along the trail. That night, we celebrate for the successful completion of the Manaslu Circuit. Today is the final stretch of our journey, a short 1-hour walk to Tilche, and from here we take a shared jeep to Shahar, and then back to Kathmandu, right where it all began. The journey has come to an end. Every step, every struggle, every moment in the mountains now behind us, but something has changed within. Some journey don't end when you reach the destination. They stay with you forever.